Hi everyone, welcome you all. Hope you are doing good and learning Python day by day and improving in it. And today we are going to learn what are lambdas or anonymous function in Python. So first thing first, let us understand what are lambdas or anonymous function. An anonymous function is a function that is defined without a name. While normal functions are defined using a def keyword in Python, but in Python, anonymous functions are defined using lambda keyword. That's why they are also called lambda functions. Here is the syntax of how to create a lambdas. Lambda function can have any number of argument but only one expression. So in this you can have multiple arguments, but we have only one expression. The expression is evaluated and returned. Lambda function can be used whenever function objects are required. Now let us have an example and understand what are lambdas. So first thing first, we are going to give a variable name. Let's say double. So it's a simple variable, then lambda, and then we are going to pass in argument, that is x, and here x multiply by 2. So you can see here in my expression case I have written 2 multiply by 2, sorry, x multiply by 2. That means whatever I am passing as an argument will be multiplied by 2 and the value is written to double. Okay, so in the next line if I use print, let's say double, and pass some value, let's say 5, and if I try to execute this by simply pressing F1 and enter, now you can see my answer is 10. Okay, here in this example x is the argument and x multiplied by 2 is an expression, and double may be the name of this lambda or function objects. And now we can call this function like any other function. This is nearly the same as if I write def double and specify x here and then return x multiplied by 2. So now you can see this is a long way of defining a function, and here I have defined a shortcut. So here this function do not have any name, but it returns object, or you can say function object. We use lambda functions when we require a nameless function for a short period of a time. In Python we generally use it as an argument to a high order functions that takes in other function as argument. Lambda function are used along with built-in functions like filter, comma, map. Okay, let us get rid of this and use a lambda function right in filter. So now let us create a list. Okay, it's a really very simple list. It contains some of the elements, and then we will be using to create another list using a filter function. Okay, so it's a new underscore list is equals to list is the function which we are going to use, and we will be declaring a lambda here. Okay, so lambda, and then you need to pass a parameter, that is x, and then I'm going to specify a simple expression, that is x modulus 2 is equals to 0, and then specify our function. Let's say it should be filter. So what filter does, it applies this lambda to the second parameter, that is my list. So let us understand this example. So here filter is the function which takes a function name as an argument, and it applies to all the elements in the list or a sequence, right? So what it will do, it will take one and then perform a lambda function on it. So if it is true, then it will give you a true. Let's do this and print the list. Print new underscore list. Let's run this program and see the result. Okay, now we are running into error. I have missed a parenthesis. Let's try to execute this now, and see I'm having another error because it's my underscore list. So here let us understand, actually filter function takes up the function name, a function which can return true or false, and then we have a next parameter as a list. So what it does, it returns all the elements for which your function returns true. Okay, so in this case my function returns true for all the values which are even. Okay, if I change it to 1, let's say, and check this one out, you can see I'm getting this time 1, 5, 11 and 3. Okay, now let us have another example which takes a function like map. Okay, so map is the function where I'm going to use a map function which takes a function object and a sequence. Now here my map function will apply my function to all the elements in the sequence. So let us try this one. So here I'm going to generate a list, lst is equals to list, and then specify a map function. In place of a function, I'm going to specify a lambda and write a simple piece of a code, that is x, and it evaluates x multiplied by x, or even have a square. I'm not going to do that, and specify my list, my underscore list this time, and try to print this list. Okay, my underscore list. Now let us execute this program and see the result. Okay, now here is my result. Now you can see I'm getting my list here, and I should be printing the list in the next statement. And let us execute this piece of a code and see. So now here you can see 2, 10, 8, 12, all the values are doubled. Okay, hope you have understood. For you, let us explain what I have did. Map function takes up the function and applies this function to all the elements. So here my function returns the double value of x, whatever I pass. So what my map function is doing, it is iterating or traversing through the list and passing 1 for the first time in the x. It is doubled, and map function returns that doubled value to my list. Okay, I think this is fine. And then 5, 4, 6, so on up to n. In this way I'm getting a new list which is double. So here lambda makes my work a little bit easy. Okay, otherwise what I have to do, I have to loop through it myself and multiply each element by 2. Right, now let us write one more function which takes multiple arguments. Let's get rid of all this. Now we have, let's say, a name is equals to lambda, and then I'm going to pass two expression, that is, let's say, f name, and then we have l underscore name. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to join these two names. Okay, so first thing first, then I should be writing like this. Let's say full name is equals to, let's have a concatenation first, and then specify f underscore name, then plus, then space, and then again we have, let's say, l underscore name. Okay, so this is my lambda function. Let's try to write this. Print name, let's say Aman, comma Kashnian, and let us try to execute this piece of code and see the result. Okay, so now here you can see my simple function, right, which takes two argument, and here we have passed Aman as a first name and Kashnial as a second name, and then my function generates a simple string. So you can see this is a simple function which can be defined like this: def name, then you have to specify f underscore name, comma l underscore name, and then colon, and then written, and I have to copy this from as this. Now you can see this is a really long way to do it, and this is a little bit shorter. Okay, so now, but the thing is that we can have only one expression in the lambda, though we can have multiple arguments. So if you have only one expression for your function, then lambda can be used without any hesitation. So best of luck with lambdas. Do use lambdas sometime because it will save your time. Okay, now I'm going to get rid of this and I will teach you how to execute this function another way. So I have this function, okay, and then I'm using a print statement here. So I'm using a lambda inside the print statement. But how to call this lambda here? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a parenthesis here and specify the two arguments. Let's say this time Arjun and comma method. Let's enclose in a single quotes. Here I have used a parenthesis for the function lambda. You can see this is enclosed in a Python, otherwise you will be getting a address of the function, and then I have passed parameter inside the parenthesis or arguments inside the parameter. So in this way also you can create your lambda so that you don't have to save your lambda expression into a variable. Okay, some other name of the lambda expressions are, we can call it anonymous function as we have discussed earlier, lambda expression or lambda abstraction also called, and sometimes it is called a lambda form, or sometimes it is also called a function literals. So here are some of the names which are used interchangeably. So all these terms are same, belonging to lambda functions or anonymous function. Okay, so don't be confused if your question says write an lambda expression or lambda abstractions or lambda form. Okay, now in CBSE there can be a question like you may be given a lambda expression and you have to convert it into a function, and similarly in reverse order also it can be given function can be defined and you have to change it to lambda expression, right? So you have to practice this. That's all for today. Hope you have learned what are lambdas. That's all for today. Have a good day and happy learning.